Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to see everybody, and glad to have all the support you have. And we have another episode in Truth in Trucking for you. We're going to talk about inspection systems and why you get inspected and when you get inspected. So that's a big priority. People don't understand it. They don't understand how the system works. We're going to try to make it easier for you. And we're going to tell you how it affects you in insurance-wise. And there are some compliance things in there that George will bring up doing that. So,
Yeah, we're definitely going to bring some things up, but we're also going to explore on this episode, there's a lot of doom and gloom out there. A lot of people, all these companies there's a lot of companies going out of business. But listen, those companies going out of business, what that means, and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there, that just means more opportunity. We're going to talk about dispatching services and how they're the ones that are mainly doing the double brokering and how they're doing it and how to avoid getting with a dispatch service like that. The other thing are the English speaking rule that they put in place that everyone's been talking a big buzz, and how that plays into a lot of companies, not having a capacity because the drivers, some of them don't speak great English or no English, and now how that's also providing opportunity for people out there. And the reason I say this, statistically, and we'll put some links there to this information, but listen, 99% just about are carriers with 100 trucks or less. 95% are 10 trucks or less. There's only maybe 2-3% that have more than 20 vehicles. So the majority of this industry are small business, are small carriers, and those, you out there, you're the ones who are going to reap the benefit from all these changes happening. There's going to be more opportunity for you. So when you hear these big companies going out of business every week, it seems like every week, another big carrier shuts down the doors. I mean, listen, we can get into why they're shutting down the doors. Some people say it's just bad management, mismanagement. The corporate guys, they don't know what they're doing. You got a lot of these guys that come out of universities, they don't have that much experience. We can get, everyone has their opinion on why those things are happening. A lot of it's saying no because of tariffs, this, that, because the market. Hey, listen, I think everyone has a valid argument, but all I can tell you is that creates opportunity. And listen, for those of you affected by those companies, it is unfortunate, and I'm not trying to make it seem or be happy about that. I'm not happy about that. I've been there before. I've lost a job. I've been unemployed. I know what that feels like. So in no way am I trying to celebrate that. I'm just saying that because of that happening, that does create an opportunity. And if you're one of those affected by that or a driver, maybe it's time for you to think about maybe doing your own thing and becoming part of that small business, that majority in this industry that most of these brokers rely on. And so that's one of the things we want to talk about too. And listen, if you're a broker, you're an ELD company, you're a factoring company, insurance companies, you guys know that the majority of your business are going to be small business companies. Now, I know Harold, he's an insurance guy. He likes the whales, the big guys. And hey, nothing wrong with that.
that's not true. That's not true.
But listen, the majority of the...
Let me cut off. Let me cut off. He's talking too much right now. Let me tell you something. You small guys are the ones that make America move. And that's the bottom line. It's you guys that sit there and keep this country going. If we lose you guys, we don't have nothing anymore. And you think we got problems with pricing and everything out there and food, whatever it is that's bringing in, what's coming in, it's because of you guys are out there. I understand some of you guys are getting beat up. But maybe sometimes you got to change what you're doing, or maybe you need to get advice from other people or how things are done. We're here to help you make sure you do the things the right way, because a lot of guys get in trouble because they don't do things the right way. We don't get paid for this. We don't get nothing out of this. We do this for the benefit of the drivers, and we want you to succeed. So our goal is to keep America moving, and we appreciate your efforts and what you do for us.
Yeah. We do. And listen, we need you. And now, with that said, those of you guys out there in the factoring company industry, those of you who work for these platforms, these onboarding platforms that brokers use to onboard carriers, listen, guys, you gotta get involved, and you gotta help your platform, your AI, your software, whatever, be better. A lot of these systems are using bad information, old data. They're flagging carriers who are good guys, and you're keeping them from getting set up and doing business with brokers, and brokers are losing carriers that they could have or can build
Good carriers.
Yeah,
No.
good carriers who they can build a relationship with. And if things keep going the way they're going, where these bigger guys are starting to shut their doors or, consolidate or downsize, then you're going to have to deal with a lot of these small businesses. So, hey, I think it's time you start rethinking some of the things you're doing to kind of be more friendlier to these small businesses, maybe get more human element involved, because they saw and hey, listen, I love automation just like the next person. Okay. It's great to have automation. It's great to have AI do a lot of things. It's great to have AI agents to do a lot of things. But let me tell you, you need to have that human element involved, or things, you're going to end up shooting yourself in the foot, because if you don't have these small guys, if you're not helping them out, you're not going to have much business. You're just not. I mean, it's just the math, just do the math. I mean, sooner or later, it's going to affect you. The more, for lack of better words, bridges you start burning, because you're not allowing these guys to kind of connect. You're not allowing their carrier to get
As I want to add on something to this too as well. On the insurance side of the business, you always hear this company we don't want anymore because they don't pay good, or this company doesn't do it because it doesn't pay good, or they don't pay claims, things like that. Major companies too, not just little companies. The problem is that there's a lot of agents out there that does not explain or get the right insurance for that carrier. And the carriers, depending on good agents, or an agent has the knowledge to sit there and make sure he gets the right coverage for that particular item or whatever he's hauling. When I sit there and I ask people, what are you hauling? General freight. General freight is not a good thing to just sit there and say, I'm hauling general freight. General freight can mean hauling cars all the way to hauling water bottles. So you got to sit there and be a little bit more. If you're hauling live shrimp, that's a whole nother category altogether. A lot of carriers don't want to cover that. Why? Because if the temperature changes 1 degree, and all you reefer guys know this, if it changes 1 degree, they're gonna refuse your load, and they're not gonna want to pay for it. People are hauling ice cream. There's some carriers out there. Yeah, you have $100,000 worth of coverage, but that carrier is only going to give you up to 25% of that coverage if you're hauling ice cream, if that load goes bad. These are things your agent should sit there and be telling you. There's a lot of bad insurance policies out there. Yeah, or they're cheap. If they're even really cheap, there's usually a reason behind it, because they keep their money in their pocket. They don't pay any claims. These are the things you have to bring in. I bring to the table, and this is what's important for the carriers and the brokers to understand what kind of coverage is covered on that particular cargo.
Yeah, very important. A lot of agents out there are offering insurance, writing up policies. The policy's wrong. Things are wrong. They're doing it just to get the money, the down payment, the commission, and the next thing you know, the insurance company is asking for another to rewrite the policy, or they want to cancel the policy because some information was not input correctly, or they feel like they were deceived by the information that was provided, that the agent probably put, that you had no idea did, just so you can get the policy. And then you're in a situation where you don't want to be. So it's important that you reach out to Harold or at Touchable Insurance, because they're going to steer you the right way, give you the policy that you need. And sometimes a lot of people don't like what they hear or what the policy is, but that's because they're used to getting lied to. They're used to getting agents telling them what they want to hear. give them the price more or less where they want to be, only to find out later in 2 or 3 months that the policy was wrong, that something's wrong, the policy gets canceled.
I'll give you a good example. Just look at beer. If you're hauling beer, you have to tell the insurance company that you're hauling it from the beginning. If you didn't tell them from the beginning that you were hauling beer, then you don't have that endorsement to haul beer. They may charge you more money to haul beer, but if that's your main business in there, then you need that endorsement on cigarettes, all kinds of stuff, copper. If you're hauling copper, right? If you look at one of our past episodes, we talked about people stealing copper. And you know what? And if they're stealing copper, that's a high risk load. So guess what? The insurance company wants more money for that particular load. So those are the things that you have to understand. You just can't go haul anything that you want. You have to either get into your niche or find that niche you want to work in. You're going to work in the reefer side of things. You're going to work a flatbed. You're going to work a dry van. Whichever your responsibility that you feel that fits your business model, that's what you have to follow. And that's what you got to tell me. If you're going to haul cars, that's a whole nother ball game altogether. It's a different amount of insurance. It changes.
That's right. That's right. Listen, I just want to touch base again with the the industry is changing. It's always changing. There's always ups and downs. And, what we're seeing with all these companies going out of business, I just want to kind of break down just some numbers. So in 2023, 88,000 trucking companies out of business, 8,000 freight brokers out of business. 2024, the first half of 2024, 10,000 carriers out. This year, and I'll name a few, Balkan Express, 159 truck company out of business, 166 drivers affected. For those of you listening that were part of Balkan and affected, hey man, I wish the best for you, but maybe it's a good time to think about doing your own thing. And if that's the case, reach out. We can help you every step of the way. You can join the rest of these small business companies that are going to be taking advantage of these opportunities of companies like this. Because I'm not. You have CNC Freight Network. You have Best Choice Trucking, Best Logistics. 160 truck had 117 truck drivers affected by that. LTI Trucking, 250 drivers affected. So listen, it's unfortunate that happened. If you're one of those affected by those companies going out or affected by other companies that are shutting down, we wish you the best. If you need help, you're interested in doing your own thing, you want to go work for another company, give us a shout. We can help you. We can steer you the right way. We can get you started and set you up for success if that's something you want to do. What do you have to say?
To give you a good example, too, how the industry is changing, even Walmart is trying to pick up whole new system. They want to emulate Amazon system to a point. I mean, they're not going to be exact. Don't take that as God's honest truth, but they're trying to emulate something that Amazon does. Amazon has a great system, but on the other hand, Amazon has some pitfalls too as well. And depending on what kind of haul you are, will really depend on how those things will affect you. If you're a driver with with Walmart now, what does that mean to you later on down the road? Does that mean you're going to have to go independent? They're going to get rid of their drivers? We don't know. And those are the things that you have to be proactive so you can stay and feed your family. And that's what's important there.
That's right. And those of you that are interested in getting in, doing your own thing, you want to get started in the trucking business, listen, I'm going to be upfront and honest to you. It's a hard way of working. It's a good industry. You can make a lot of money, but it's tough, okay? To make that money, you got to be on the road out. You got to be maybe 2 or 3 months out on the road. If you are young, single, no family, this is the opportunity for you. You can make a lot of money in a short period of time, and you can take that money, invest it, maybe grow and become a trucking company. There's a lot of things that you can do. Now, those of you out there that have family, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's hard. So it's not an easy thing. It's not this, hey, let me get in. I'm going to make quick money fast. It's not going to happen. And I'll tell you why. If you're new, usually probably what, 70-80% of new carriers in the first year, 70%, they go out of business. You know why they go out of business? Because they don't have the right team. They don't have the right insurance guy. They don't have the right compliance company. They don't have the right ELD company. ELD, by the way, check out my friend Edward Trujillo. He can hook you up with the ELD. Shout out Edward. And I mean, he can help you with the factoring. ELD, you need help with ELD, we can help you with that too. But you don't have the right, and it's important to have a good team in order to be successful in pretty much any business, right? But in trucking, you got to have the right team that's going to get you
someone who's going to work for you.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes down to.
Yeah.
And the problem is, like you said, 70% of new ventures, that's people within the first year, usually end up going out of business.
Correct. And they go out of business for not having the right information, getting the wrong information. Listen, if you just got your DOT number, then you know what I'm about to say. You're getting bombarded with phone calls, text messages, emails from all kind of people. Some just trying to offer business. Others are just trying to scam you. They're going to use DOT regulations. They're going to deceive you a little bit. They're going to throw some regulations in there, put some deception in there to try to intimidate you and scare you into giving them your information, paying them an exaggerated amount for whatever they say that you need. So that's what happens that first year, man. You get bombarded with people. You get, a lot of brokers won't work with you. That's another thing. The first 6 months, you're probably not going to get a lot of brokers wanting to work with you. There are brokers that can't. I'm not telling you this to discourage you. Everyone goes through it. If you can get through it, that first year, that's it. From there on out, I start getting easier.
Don't want to interject on that. And we don't disagree too often, but I disagree with a little bit, because what happens is it takes almost 3 years to get to where the lows that are paying the good money at. And this is what I've run across to a lot of guys. If you're a new guy, like George said, now this is where I agree with George, what happens is that people don't want to hire you because you don't have a track record. But if you want to get with UPS, if you want to get with FedEx, right, they're going to have certain requirements there. And most of them want to see you have more than one truck, for starters, because if you have one truck and that truck doesn't work, and if you got a lane with them, guess what? They want you to come up and pick up that lane the next day. And if you don't understand that, well, this is where we're going to help you at. We understand this stuff because, like, we talk to drivers, we talk to companies in and day out. George and I talk constantly back and forth. Oh, we got to do this. We got to do that. We got to sit there and bring this to the trucking industry. And that's what we're trying to do. We want the best for everybody here, because, as I said earlier in this broadcast, you guys you are America. You make America work.
That's right, man. That's right. Big 10-4. And, it's so important that we help you small guys out there. It's important that we help you new guys be successful. And I think everyone should be on that same page, especially these onboarding companies, especially the factory and ELD companies, because without the small guys, a lot of us are not going to have business. And if we keep doing it, and I'm not saying we, because my company doesn't do it, Harold doesn't do it, but there's other guys out there that they make it hard. They put things in place that are just not friendly to new carriers, and that's the bulk of their business. So, things need to change, and we're saying, and we're putting these podcasts out there to hopefully reach those people, hopefully change their mind, hopefully give them some more insight, a different perspective, so they can do things different to help the small guys, to help you guys out. So one thing I want to go back to when we're talking about the new guys, and so tell me who you agree with. You agree with Harold that he says about 3 years? Or you agree with me about after a year? Now, to clarify, after the first year, things get easier. I'm not saying you're going to make tons of money. I'm just saying they're going to get easier. But what he says, I agree. I think statistically speaking, in most industries, the first 2 years, if you're able to survive the first 2 years, statistically speaking, you're going to be okay. If not, usually the first 2 years, If
You're gonna go down.
you're going down. So I kind of agree with what he's saying, and what I was saying is that after the first year, things just get a little easier. You know what I mean?
And not to take anything away from the brokers, but these brokers, they're trying to make money too. And if they can get you take that load a lot cheaper, they're gonna try their best to do it. And someone's gonna be out there to do it. So those are the ones, when you get up to the bigger brokerages that are looking for stability, companies are gonna be there all the time. That's what you're striving for. The other thing is too, and I'm gonna bring this up on this because I see it 100 times. If you let your MC number lapse one day, you become that new guy all over again. And I can't hit this harder to you any more than I am hitting it to you now. It is so important that you understand. One day you let your insurance lapse. That's it. You're going to sit there on day one again. This is what a lot of guys do because either they're having trouble making their insurance payments, and when they can't make their insurance payments, they either go into a cancellation mode, then they got to pay reinstatement fees and reinstatement endorsements. And when that happens, we can see that. I can see how many times you stop your insurance. I can see how many times a cancellation happens. And if I can see it, the insurance company has more and better software than I have. And they can tell you this. They can tell you what violations you had. I had a guy the other day. I couldn't even see the violations. But guess what? And George actually worked in that case. And the guy had 8 more violations in February, and I'm trying to write him at 215. And he had, at 2/8, which is February 8th, he had violations. At 215, I'm trying to write it. I couldn't write it because he had 8 violations. It was someone else using his DOT number.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So guys, look, we're here to help. Don't listen to all that doom and gloom out there. I mean, I'm not saying that the trucking industry is peaches and cream, but there are a lot of people doing very well. And one of the things I wanted to mention is if you're new and you're getting into this, the best thing to do is if you're a driver right now or you were a driver, hopefully you made some relationships. If you're a driver now, make relationships, connect with people, network, make friends with that broker, make friends with that shipper. When you decide to go on your own, you already have an upper hand. Chances are you're going to get past those 6 months, that year, 2 years, and you're going to do very well. It's all about the connections you make, that especially if you're a driver and you're thinking about doing your own thing. That's the key. If you make those relationships, you call them up, you let them know you're going to do your own thing. And when you tell them that, most of them, even though they have restrictions on new carriers, they'll make an exception. I was a broker for many years, and I'm telling you, I would make exceptions with drivers that I knew for years, or owner operators that I knew who decided to do their own thing would call me up and say, "Hey man, I know." And we had a 2-year restriction. If you were less than 2 years, we did not set you out. But I made exceptions. We made exceptions for those that we had relationships with. So it's all about relationships. Make those relationships, talk to those guys, and listen. When you do your own thing, you call them up right before you do it, let them know what you're doing, and ask them if you can count on them. Hey, you need more help, you're thinking about doing it, call me up. We'll help you out. We'll steer you the right way. We'll let you know everything you need, what the fees are, what you got to look forward to when you get started. And we're going to shoot it straight, and we're not going to take advantage. We're going to tell you like it is. We're not going to sell you this dream. We're not going to be exaggerated with our fees and all that stuff. Not like all these other companies out there that, they just, all they want to do is take advantage. Try calling them. Try talking to their customer service. Hopefully you can understand when you talk to them. But, hey, I want to get into that. Anything else you want to talk to about?
I mean, there's a lot of information we've given you, and I hope it helps you. I really do. And I really want to see everybody succeed. And the one thing I want to stress, no matter what you do, make sure you make your insurance payments on time. Because once you get into that drain, you fall down and you try to keep up. I understand it's hard to do it. I understand. But you know what? You got to get past that 2 to 3 year period. Once you get past that period, you're going to sit there and see a big difference, and you're going to be able to really grow your business. We got a guy, a mutual customer of ours. He's gone from 2 trucks in his first year. He did a great job. He went to 9 trucks. No, he went out to 6 trucks his second year. Starting his third year, he's up to 10 trucks, I think, right now, and he's doing an awesome job. So that all being said, though, it's possible. We see guys doing it all the time. And the other thing is, I want to hit home. If you think, and George was talking to someone today, and I overheard the conversation, and the guy wanted to do everything by himself. Well, unless you've been doing this every day and really understand how that system works, and we understand how the system works, don't be penny wise and dollar foolish, because it's going to cost you a lot more money in the long run, especially if we have to fix a problem instead of getting you in the right place where you don't have to fix a problem, or if you get a claim that you have to pay out of your own pocket. I don't know too many new truck drivers that have $100,000 in their pocket to pay for a load, or if they wreck a truck, or they don't have the right coverage, or those things is what we bring to the table for you. And this is what we want to hit home with. We want you to understand. I'm not looking for you. Yeah, I like to get paid. Let's put that out. And George likes to get paid too. But I'm going to get paid by doing the right thing. If we're not going to do the right thing, I'll turn you off. I won't even work with you. And George is the same way.
That's right. Bottom line, the more successful you are, the more successful we're going to be. It does nothing for us to take advantage of anyone and not help you be successful. Because if you guys are not out there being successful, then we're not going to be successful. And unfortunately, most of the people you encounter in this industry don't think the same way, are not on the same page. All they want to do is get the money now and leave later. And they don't care who they ruin in the way. They're very deceptive. You know that. I don't have to tell you, especially if you've been doing this for a while. So reach out to us if you need any help. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Comments. We want comments. Share your experiences. Any questions, let us know. We'll put links down there how to reach us. Again, I'm George with ACM Integrity Services. We are FMCSA and DOT Compliance Center. We do everything: corporations, authorities, permits, fuel tax, plate, you name it, we get it done.
Harold with Untouchable Insurance, and we're here to make sure you have the right coverage, that you don't have any surprises. That's why we call ourselves Untouchable, because you're going to be untouchable to everybody else. They're going to pay your claims. I'm not saying you want to make claims. What I'm saying is, if you need that, you want to make sure you have the right insurance so the claim does get paid.
That's right. And untouchable, because none of those competitors out there can touch them. Can't touch us. So tune in next time, guys. Thanks for tuning in. See you later. Bye-bye.
Well, that's a big 10-4.